Formula One pre-season, where nobody sandbags and we find out exactly who's going to win the championship. Well, maybe not. Anyway, let's take a look at all the challengers for the 2020 Formula One season. If we're lucky. Pulling the undercut of the season, Haas revealed their colors a full 13 days before they said they would. I mean, it looks great. I like the white and the red and how they just work so much better than last year's car. Haas's 2020 Challenger gets a 6 out of 10. Also pulling an undercut, Mercedes showed their colors on last year's car 4 days before their 2020 car launch, with the surprise being a new sponsor in the form of Ineos. I think adding a bit of red to the car might scare the drivers, or even hurt their strategy department. But to be honest, I never really liked the star pattern on the back of the Mercs, and wish they would revert back to a simpler 2011 look. 5 out of 10. With Ferrari being the pinnacle of automobiles, they just had to hold the best launch event of them all. So of course they had to have a live orchestra and whatever this was. After 25 minutes of refined Italian entertainment, we got to see yet another matte red Ferrari. Now, Ferrari is red every year, but they can't seem to choose which shade of red is their favorite. This year, they chose a slightly darker matte red and got rid of the black on the front wing. Now, I think they should go back to the glossy white and red of 2017, but Mr. Bonato says saving a few hundred grams is worth it, even if it means getting a rating of 7 out of 10 from yours truly. Now, Renault held an event of sorts where we just got to see only parts of the new car in a full black temporary testing livery. But at least we got to see the drivers on the live stream.
I don't even think frustration's a word anymore. I don't know. I got no more words.
Even during testing, this team still hasn't officially released their 2020 colors. But spy photos from their shakedown day before the test show that they will yet again be the bananas of the grid. Same as last year. 7 out of 10. With no slick camo testing livery this year, Red Bull displayed yet another matte design, with the biggest change being a little red square on the drivers' suits. Even though I'm sure all of us would like to see a new design, the matte bowl is foolproof, and so it gets a 8 out of 10.
That was a smooth operator. Smooth operation.
For 2020, McLaren has gotten rid of the Thanos snap disintegrating look from the back of their car and went for a simpler blue side pod design. I think it looks almost as good as last year, but Lando and Carlos now have to deal with ugly barcodes on the race suits. I think it's pretty good though. 7 out of 10. The newly named AlphaTauri team held a huge 40-minute fashion show for the AlphaTauri fashion brand in Red Bull's Hangar 7, with the car sitting on stage under wraps for a painful 27 minutes, until covering it with yet another screen, and after doing a little light show, finally revealed a very nice dark blue and white color scheme. And with white suits like that, team principal Franz Tost has banned Gasly and Daniel from having red sauce with their pasta. I like it. 8 out of 10. Racing Point was the only team to have their livery leaked before the official launch. The leaks showed a pink car on a stunning lake backdrop. This year's car got rid of some of the blue and white as their sponsorship with Sport Pezza ended, and the team is now back to having just one title sponsor, The pink racer is probably my favorite livery of the 2020 grid and gets a 9 out of 10. Williams came out with a much more appealing red, white, and blue design for their... I think the red of the Rokit logo really adds some character to the car. It really makes it stand out and was a good move by the design team. But their merch doesn't have any red on it, so I won't be buying any. 8 out of 10. After showing off a Valentine's Day livery and a sneaky teaser on Instagram, Alfa Romeo revealed their car on the first day of testing, replacing any blue previously on the car with red, and a new sponsor in the form of Orlen Oil, courtesy of Alfa's latest reserve driver, Robert Kubica. A solid design for what looks to be a solid car. 7 out of 10. For 2020, testing was reduced to 6 days instead of the usual 8, meaning the teams now had even less time to sandbag. In the preseason test, running as many laps as possible is the name of the game as the drivers and engineers tried to understand their new cars. Mercedes ran the most laps and set the quickest time, with over 900 laps and a time of 1 minute 15.7 under their belt. Strangely, none of the top 3 teams beat their qualifying times from last year's Spanish Grand Prix. Even with Mattia Binotto claiming there is no sandbags in the back of the prancing horse, I suspect their true pace is yet to be seen. This year, preseason testing was televised, with the entire Sky F1 crew covering the whole thing. Sadly, I don't live in the UK or have F1 TV Pro, so I saw none of it. But on the first day of testing, my Instagram feed was flooded with pictures of a pink W10. And on the second day, everybody was flipping out about Hamilton pushing and pulling his steering wheel. Mercedes technical chief James Allison later dubbed the system dual axis steering, or DAS for short. Whether DAS gonna win the championship for Mercedes is yet to be seen. Well, that's it for preseason. I'm the quality commentator, and I'll catch you next time.